What's up, Knife Tube? It's Diamond Cut Steel, and you guys are going to learn something today. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to cut test this Gerber 7cr. And the reason why I'm going to do this is specifically because, you just hear so much that this steel is not serviceable. And while it's definitely not great, it's certainly not unserviceable. A lot of it has to do with making sure that you have the right edge finish on it. Toma 600, 17 degrees per side. And as you'll see, the steel's not going to perform as bad as you expect it to. Gerber catches a lot of hate for these box store knives, and I get it. A lot of them aren't very good. There is an exception, and that would be these three knives. Sorry if you hear my granddaughter in the background. You may hear a little bit of noise from her. It is what it is. The Air Ranger, a great little knife. The Pledge, again, a great little knife. The action on these things, awesome. And they're just a really good utility knife. Like, I actually really like them so much. I have a bunch of them. And the Gerber Sumo. If you shop around right now, you can find these things for like $17. I think Knife Country has them for 17 bucks. I can put a link down there. I'll also put an Amazon link. I'm not sure how much they're on there, but they're on. And these aren't on bearings. They're on phosphor bronze washers. You've got a pretty well done crossbar action. Nice and solid. No up and down play. Very little side to side play. Which slight pivot adjustment, and that's gone. Yeah, they're nice and smooth. It's a big knife, but the Sumo, the Air Ranger, and the Pledge, that's three really good Gerber 7cr knives that you can pick up for dirt cheap. So we're going to go ahead and cut test this. Half-inch sisal rope, standard cut test, normal. The way we've done every other cut test, we're going to do this one. Like I said, it's a 600 grit Toma edge. This knife is on its second edge. I typically prefer to cut test the edge 4, but it is what it is. It would perform probably a little better after the next edge. First edge or two, first edge for sure. Usually it's about 2 edges. And then by the third edge, it's getting pretty consistent. But I like to test on 4 just to be sure. But so this is going to be slightly under what it would actually do if it was at edge 4. So here's where we're at edgewise. So nice, crazy sharp edge. That's also lots of bite. Nice sharp edge. And we're going to see how far it goes. I actually have Gerber 7cr in my pocket a lot, and I never have an issue with it. It performs decent. A strop and a ceramic rod to keep the stuff going for quite a while in between edges, or in between sharpenings, I should say. So we're going to focus the cut test right here. Let's do it. Anybody want to put in their guesses? If you do, go ahead and put it in. No cheating. Do it before. Do it now. I'm going to say 28 is where we're going to start having. Yeah, I'm going to say 28. That's where we're going to start having edge failure at. This is going to be a really nice cutting edge because of lots of tooth. And it is. One. There's 10. Now, you know, too many people just talk too much trash about this steel. It's not great by any means. But as long as it's looking good, as long as it's priced, you know, you're not paying very much for it. Perfect example is like this knife on sale. This steel does just fine. This 1 or 10. That's 20. I'll tell you what, they're still cutting pretty damn good. I just cut pretty daggum good. Looking good. That is cutting paper nicely. Oh yeah. I believe I'm going to be wrong at 28, unless it dies real quick. Okay. I do see little itty bitty glint. See right there. Okay. So yeah, it's very minimal, but that's going to add up pretty quick. Yep, I think we got maybe 10 more. There's 5. I know it's still good, but I'm going to check it. See it getting rough? Starting to think about getting rough. Still cutting good. There's 5. Okay, that's 30. It's going to go further than I thought it would. That might be it. Nope, it's still good. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Nah. Let me clean that edge off just in case. Any schmutz on it. No, we're good. Yeah, we're good. It's close, but it's still doing pretty damn good. Yeah, we're good. So I believe this is going to do all right up there with 14C. Yeah, you can start to see the glint a little more. See it? All right, so that's 30. So we'll do. I can feel it losing some bite too. Okay, there's 5. That's still cutting nice though. 5. Let's check it. Still good. Little tear. It's good. Yeah, we're still good. Starting to slick off a lot. Okay, I can really feel the bite dropping off now. But that's 40. And see, this right here is why you can't go by like Laren's chart. You can't. That chart is just a general idea, but it's almost irrelevant. Yeah, I think that's it. It's starting to slide. Oh, look at that. Come on, man. That's impressive. Yeah, I do believe that's it, though. Yeah, we're going to have to call it. Well, let me clean it off. Yeah, okay, it's skipping, but that could always just be something on the edge. Yeah, this edge has got more in it. That's crazy. That's way over what I thought it would be. Yeah, that's still good. But you see, this is the problem. This is the problem with that chart. Let's see what 14C does around 40. 8CR, some Kershaw 8CR did what? 45. So you that chart is irrelevant in a lot of cases because I can see the glint's there, but it's minimal. Now I can't even really get it to show on camera. Yeah, right there. But it's not tearing. So now it is getting slick. I will say that. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. It's 45. That's still cutting. That's still cutting. Hey, come on now. You be good. Bop, bop, what, bop, bop? I think that's it. 40. No, you watch TV. Watch TV. Be a good girl. I guess she wants to be heard in the video. I think that's it. Yeah, see right there, I was actually, that cut in front of that was a little bit too far back. See right there. That's still cutting. That's not that. Yeah, it's tearing. But see, the thing is, it's not reliably tearing. That's one. It's, yeah, okay, that's it. All right, so it did 45, but that's still cutting pretty daggum good at 45. Yes, look at that. See, that's legit cuts. There's a tear. There, that was perfect. That was perfect. That didn't tear. Almost did. That did. That's still that's. I can't call the test there. I would feel not right doing it. That's not reliably tearing enough. That's not tearing. Yeah, that did. I tell you what, we're going to call it 45. We're going to give it 45, but I'm going to cut. I believe it's got 5 more in it, to be honest, because that's just not reliably tearing. I would feel wrong giving the test up. Okay, one. You see that didn't. It's not real light. That's perfect. Yeah, I can't call the test there. Let's give it 5 more. But it is slick now. Five. Yeah, that's kind of crazy that this is what I mean. This is literally what I mean about those. You see, but that's still cutting. It shouldn't be, because of 7cr. It shouldn't go longer than 8cr. But this piece is. That's not tearing. The catches are there, but they're so small that it's not wanting to tear the paper. Good. Hey, no, you have to lay down. You have to be a good girl and lay down. It's bedtime. Yes, no, that. No, it's legitimate now. But see, that cut good. That tore. The catches are so small that it's just. That tore. Yeah, it's legitimate now. This is where the test should be called, because it's not doing it every single time, and I don't want to call the test when it's doing it every single time. I want to do it as soon as it actually starts tearing and doing it. If it does it one cut and not 4 more, then I'm not going to call the test there. But once it starts actually catching and tearing, and I know it's not me, that's where I want to call the test. Right now, it's not, like just in it, call, that's not me. Call, that's rough, but it got through without tearing. That call, yeah, good. So we got to give that 50 cuts. 10, 20, 30, 40, yeah, 50. That's 7cr at 17 degrees per side. That should not have went 50 cuts. Not if you compare it to your 8cr at 45. 8cr should outcut this a little bit. 14C should outcut this a little bit. But, it didn't outcut this piece. Now, if somebody would turn around and say, well, no, 7cr is not serviceable for me, but 14C is, well, you tell me how much sense that makes. When this piece of 7cr just outcut every piece of 14C I've tested so far. You see what I mean? And again, Laren's chart. If you went by Laren's chart, a lot of times the steel doesn't do exactly what it's supposed to. Like, if you go by Laren's chart, like 14C, but yeah, you can't go. That chart is only partially relevant. It just gives an idea. But people pretend like that chart is God, and it's not. You know what though? Since this test did, let's see. I have another piece of Gerber 7cr right here. This is also a 17 degree per side Atoma 400 edge, Atoma 600 edge. Let's go ahead and see what it does. Let me get a new sheet. Now see that this piece could be much different. It's hard to say. Gerber Air Ranger. 7cr is what? 617 per side. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I know the baby in the background might annoy y'all, but I can either not make content or y'all might hear her a little bit. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. She's my grandbaby. And y'all hearing her ain't gonna hurt you. Okay, as you can see, we're razor sharp. We're razor sharp. We got good bite. Okay. So let's see what this does. Is this just a really good, really well done piece of 7cr? Remember, this is basically a brand new knife, and I really haven't used it that much. It's just on it. I just sharpened it for the cut test. To get some steel off of it and then cut test. Now I have used it a little bit, but not really enough to gain, hey, that performs, not enough to know, hey, that performs better than most 7cr I've used. You know what I mean? So right here, now this knife has been cut test before. I've also used this knife quite a bit. I know how it acts. I would say this acts like what I expect 7cr to do. So we're going to keep the cut test right in the cutting right here, of course. Let's see what it does. I believe this knife is on its, third edge. One. I'll be right back. She's fighting me to go to bed. Terrible twos and really does not want to go to bed. All right, so there's 5. There's 10. Okay, let's see where it's at. Okay, now as you can see, that roughened up quicker. The first 30 cuts through that didn't really roughen up at all. I just think maybe that's an exceptionally good piece of 7cr, or exceptionally well done. It's still cutting decent. It feels like it's starting to lose its bite a little bit, but still cutting just fine. But yeah, it's just, I just hear it's too much. It's too much with the, Lawrence chart says this, and people act like that chart is gold, and it's God, and it's not. It gives a, it'll give a general idea. See, yeah, I'm already starting to see some. See it glinting right there? Okay, we're at 20. I don't remember if that one was glinting yet at 20. I don't remember, but looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Yeah, I'll note it down. Okay, it is getting notably harder to cut. The bite is definitely falling off. If I had to bet, I'd say this is going to tear. By the way, it feels okay. I'm starting to see the glinting substantially more. See it? But I said that about that. Well, let me go ahead and wipe this edge off ahead of time. I think that's it. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, it's tearing. All right, there we go. Yeah, we're going to call that there. That is that. Yeah. All right. So, okay. And that's exactly what I mean. Same company, same steel. Same company, same steel. Same exact edge, 17 degrees per side. Toma 600. 5 passes on 1 micron. And we have one did 50, one did 30. And I will show you, remember, keep this in mind. Look, this is, you just, each individual knife, it depends on how it's done. If it was in the right place in the oven, it can be way better than what's average. If it's in a really bad place in the oven, it can be way worse than average. But look, I want you to pay attention to this. Okay. Okay. You see that's tearing pretty good, right? Now look at this. Keep in mind this knife did 50 cuts. That's not tearing at all. Look at that. No tears. Okay, it caught then. It caught a little bit then, but yeah, that was enough to tear. But look. Okay, caught. But you see, this knife is clearly still sharper at 50. It's still cutting this paper better at 50 than that one is at 30. That caught. But see that cut. That cut. Look at the edge. Let's see. And I knew it. I can tell by touch. This edge is clearly sharper to my finger than that edge. Oh yeah. Okay. You see what that looks like. Look at that. Look at the glint. Way worse. So don't how do I say this? 7cr is definitely not that bad of a steel. Anybody that tells you it is and then will turn around and tell you how 14C is so great, well, they're full of shit. Because this one did exceptional. Okay, I'll give it that. This one did 30. The best 14C I've tested so far did 40. Okay. Yeah. So don't just 7cr as long as you're not paying too much for it. Like when you can pick these up for like $10. This is a solid little knife for $10. It really is. It's a good little knife for $10. And you can find these at like 20 bucks. This is a great $20 knife. And these, I wouldn't pay the normal like 50 they cost, but at like 17 to 20 bucks, it's an awesome knife. And it is absolutely serviceable, and don't let anybody tell you it's not. Because 40 cuts, remember, that's in a small little area. Whoops, I just dropped it. 40 cuts, that's in a small little area of that blade. Cutting some sisal rope is some nasty stuff. It's very abrasive. It's not very clean. There's a lot of contaminants in it, and you're getting 40 cuts, or in this case 50 cuts, 30 cuts. This edge is still plenty sharp. It'll probably still grab the thumbnail easily. I still grab the thumbnail right now. There's one little place where it's slipping right there, but that'll grab the thumbnail. There's slipping a little bit, but most of that area where I'm cutting is still grabbing the thumbnail. This one will definitely grab the thumbnail. I'll be very surprised if it, yeah. And one little spot that slips right there, but that's almost completely grabbing the thumbnail. So it's just, people shit on this steel just like they shit on 8cr. Now I will say, I cap it personally. 7cr is about as low as I will go and carry. Now like X50, X50 CR mov, I believe, X50 CR mov, or 4116. Now technically, that would be, just think of it as 5cr basically. I will carry 4116, and I love the steel. It's a great user steel. But in general, like, I won't go buy a Gerber or a Kershaw or whatever knife in 5cr. It's just, 5cr, it drops off pretty significant. 7cr, 8cr, 9cr, 10cr, they are not bad steels. If the company does, if the heat treat is done pretty well, it's ran at a proper hardness, and you put an edge on it that will make the steel, that will, how do I put it? Optimize the edge to the steel, meaning angle and finish. If you do that with your sharpening, the steel will perform pretty daggum decently. If I say I put a 3000 grit edge on this, and then I did this test, it's gonna perform pretty bad. Not gonna lie, it's not gonna perform very good. But the edge that is on it is optimized for what I'm doing. The edge angle is perfect for the steel. The steel and the type of cutting I'm doing. The steel is plenty of toughness for what I'm doing. Is 17 degrees, 34 inclusive. At 15, I might start seeing some mild rolling in this test. I would, in this test, I would be between 17 and 19. That's where I would be. For this steel, I would finish it at 600 at max. If I was for like general use, where I'm going to be cutting cardboard, doing push cuts, rope, other fibrous items, general cutting, I probably would finish it at 1,000. If I knew I was going to mostly be doing ropes and stuff, and fibrous type stuff, I'm going to do it at 500 to 600. But yeah, 7cr is not as bad of a steel as people make it out to be. Is it great? No, it's not. But people act like 14C is golden, and 14C's edge retention is nothing to, it's not great by any means. Sure, it's tough, but how much toughness do I need in this knife right here? I'm not going to be out, batoning hardwood. I'm not going to be, prying nails out. Like, I don't need that crazy high toughness. This steel here is stainless enough, tough enough for what I'm going to be doing with this knife. And in this case, the edge retention, I would say, is going to be better than most pieces of 14C. In this case right here, a little worse than most 14C, but still round about what 14C will do. People will make you, if you listen to people, you would believe that this steel, you're going to go cut one box with it and it's going to be dull. It's going to be butter knife dull. That is not true. Don't listen to it. Don't fall for it. It's bullshit. This is a perfectly serviceable steel for 99.5% of knife carrying people. You know, your average knife carrying person, this steel right here will do everything they need it to do. You know, but your steel snobs and half the community tell you, nah, that's garbage. Not even worth putting in your pocket. As you see, one did 50, one did 30. I think this was just a very good piece of 17C. It was very well done, and it shows in its performance. I would say this right here is what you can expect from your average piece of 7CR. This is about what I expected it to perform like. I would say this, from my use of 7CR, this is about what I expected to perform like. So I would say your average piece is going to be right around 30. You know, if I did this piece right here, I would expect it to be right around that 30. But, you know, this is just an outlier. Anyways, I'll get the link to that Knife Country listing for these for 16 bucks. Get you one. I don't make any commission off of that or anything. It's just going to be a link. Just use it, get it. It's just a good deal. Air Ranger, awesome little knife. If you catch these, a lot of times these will be in the Christmas packs at Walmart where it comes with like 3 knives. A lot of times you'll get these 2 together and then like a little mini paraframe. Man, after Christmas they mark those down to like I think $7 or something like that. If they have them after Christmas, go get you a couple packs. These are really good knives considering you can get both. The little paraframe's garbage, but you get both of these for like $7. Even at 30, the normal price is 30. But just to get these 2 knives at $30, it's way worth that. These are good knives. Anyways, thank y'all for hanging out with me. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I will be back to posting more content like normal, but you know, I don't want my granddaughter getting fussy when she's not being paid attention to, and I don't want y'all having to hear that, but I do want to keep y'all in content. So thank y'all for viewing. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, and I promise I'll be getting y'all more content here soon. Have a good day.